Hi everyone, I'm going to read you a story tonight and it's called Never Tickle a Tiger. And I love this story because it's about a little girl who just can't stay still. She wiggles and jiggles and wiggles and jiggles, and this is a story about what happens to her. So I hope you're snuggled down, you've got your pyjamas on, and you've got something nice and warm on because it's so cold now, isn't it? Right, here we go. It's called Never Tickle a Tiger. And the author is Pamela Brutchart. And I think we've got a different illustrator for this book. So she had to get someone to help her with the pictures. And his name is Mark. And a very long name after that. Now, Izzy was forever shuffling and jiggling and squirming and twitching and wiggling and fiddling. She just couldn't help it. I know sometimes I get a little bit like that. It happened at home. Izzy, stop playing with your peas, said Dad. And at school, Izzy, stop painting with your pigtails, said Miss Potterhurst. And at Grandma's, Izzy, stop knotting my knitting, said Grandma. And as for parties, well, Izzy, stop jiggling the jelly, cried everyone. No matter how hard she tried, Izzy just couldn't help wiggling and jiggling. She just couldn't stay still. It's no good, she sighed. I'm just a jiggler and that's that. So then one day, Class 4B went on a trip to the zoo. It came as no surprise to anyone that Izzy was wiggling and jiggling and shuffling and fiddling as soon as they walked through the gates. Look. Stop stroking the snakes, said Mrs. Potterhurst. I hope there's glass in front of that. Wouldn't it be terrible if she stroked a snake? Don't excite the elephants. Forget about bothering the bears. Don't mess with the monkeys. Izzy, stop tapping the tortoises. Stop poking the peacock. So she was always in trouble for doing things that she shouldn't have been doing. And the teacher said, and never, ever tickle a tiger. At lunchtime, Izzy sat shuffling her sandwiches. It's so unfair, she said. I'm never allowed to do anything. And what's wrong with fiddling anyway? Little did Izzy know that she was about to find out why she shouldn't be fiddling and diddling. Here's oxidase. Whilst all the other children finished their lunch, Izzy fidgeted in her feet. She bounced across the bench. She shimmied across the floor and she wiggled under a bush. Look at this. These ones are all sitting nicely and there's Izzy. She skipped through the aviary. An aviary is a house where the birds stay. And she danced along the path all the way. Dot, dot, dot. Does anyone know what dot, dot, dot means? That's right, it means there's more to come on the next page. And I can see that Izzy's got a feather in her hand. I wonder who she's going to tickle. Up! She went all the way to the tiger enclosure. There's the tiger sleeping. I wonder, thought Izzy, and with that she reached out her feather and she tickled the tiger. My goodness me, now what happened? I love the way this book opens up so wide. There's the tiger, and he does something to one animal, who does something to another animal, who does something to another animal, who does something to another animal, and so it goes on. Let's see what happens. "Rah!" roared the tiger, and he threw his paws in the air, which broke off a branch, and the branch startled the snake. So the snake bit the bear, and the bear walloped the walrus. Wallop means hit, who splashed a sloth. And the sloth then punched a penguin, all from a tickle. And the penguin then kicked the crocodile, and the crocodile snapped at the skunk, and the skunk ponged the panda. Pong means makes a terrible smell, because that's what skunks do. And the panda rammed into the rhino, and the rhino hit the hippo, and the hippo wobbled and wobbled and wobbled, and there it is again, dot, dot, dot. Goodness, that's a long page, isn't it? Turn that over. And the hippo went splash, and the lion roared, the parrot squawked, the snakes hissed, the elephants trumpeted loudly, and Mrs. Potterhurst squealed, and the children giggled, and the zookeeper came running. I don't think the zookeeper is going to be very happy about all the mess that's happened. It was pandemonium. It was all Izzy's fault. But then, there it is again. "Stop!" shouted Izzy at the top of her voice. "Stop squealing, squawking, splashing and flapping. Enough roaming, ramming, bumping. No more giggling and wiggling and shuffling and squirming." And everyone stopped and listened. Look, there she is. Everyone froze. All the animals froze. They're all listening to Izzy. And guess what? It worked. The zookeeper stopped running. Miss Potterhurst stopped squealing. The children stopped giggling, and all the animals went back to their homes. And as for Izzy, "You were right all along, Mrs. Potterhurst," she said. "I will never tickle a tiger again." Do you think she's sorry? Maybe not, because then it said, but, ... But what, Izzy? What can be the harm if I prod the polar bear, she thought. Oh no. Do you think that's a good idea, if she prods the polar bear? I don't think so. Oh, poor Mrs. Potterhurst, taking Izzy to the zoo. And that's the end of the story. Izzy loves life, doesn't she? Always finding something fun to do. Did you like that story? I hope you did. And I hope that you can have a nice long sleep now. Snuggle down into bed. I hope you've all cleaned your teeth before you got into bed. And I hope that you all have a very safe and happy holiday and a very, very Merry Christmas.